Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Bright Side of Beauty podcast. Today, I am joined by Sarah Dodson, aka the South Texas Esthetician. Sarah, welcome to the Bright Side.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I love that you wore pink for the occasion.
Yes, I did.
And the one day that I'm not wearing pink, I swear, in this world, I should have worn my pink today, but that's okay. And you have some friends with you, some cats. We'll do a little cut in to show them as well, because I was meeting her cats for the first time, guys, and they are so precious. But I would love to start off today with a little bit about you, how you got started in the aesthetics industry, what brought you to where you are today. Just give us the whole backstory.
Okay. So I started in my 20s. I am now 46. So I started out as a medical assistant. I worked in internal medicine for 8 years. I kind of was like, okay, I'm going to get a job, get experience. And I was there for 8 years. Fell in love with internal medicine. And then I had my babies and I stayed home for about 2 years or so and then kind of worked part-time. I got an opportunity to work in dermatology. So I worked in dermatology for about 5 years, and that's where I fell in love with aesthetics. So fast forward to now, I got my license and I own my own med spa. And it's been about 4 years now that I've been on my own.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So post-COVID, you made the jump to going independent.
Like during COVID, yeah.
How was that? What a scary time to make that transition.
It was really scary. But I honestly did it because they were offering like online to start. And I was a single mom at the time. So I had 3 kids at home and I was like, okay, I've got to do something. So I just took the leap and it's turned out amazing. Here I am.
I love that. Okay. I have to admit, when we first met in person, so I met Sarah through Instagram and then we met in real life last year at a color science event in Dallas. And then you also went to Aesthetic Next. So I got to see you at everything that I was doing in Dallas last year. You were also at doing your own thing. We went to the Nexties together and spent some time together. Like we really just became friends. I totally thought the entire time that we were there that you were in your mid-30s. And then I found out that you were not and that you have very grown kids that are not babies. I thought when you were talking about your kids, they were like 5. They're not.
I am like almost an empty nester.
That is so crazy. How old are your kids?
How old are they?
Yeah.
So we have a blended family. So they range from 25 to 15. So we have 20. So we have 1 out of college, 2 in college. So 25, 19, almost 20, 18, 16, and 15.
Oh my gosh. That is
my cats.
Great. And then your cats. Yes. I love it. Well, I was absolutely, honestly floored. And it proves that doing these different aesthetics treatments, using quality skincare, it works because I thought you were 10 years younger than you are.
Yes.
At least 10 years younger than you are. Honestly, more like 15.
You're so sweet.
Completely shocked. But did you start using medical grade products, clinical grade products, getting these treatments done when you worked in dermatology, or have you always kind of dabbled a little bit as the consumer?
I've always kind of dabbled a little bit, but more like, over the counter stuff. And of course I was a little clinique girl and all the things. So I really didn't get into medical grade until like my early 30s when I started working in derm. Like I always took care of my skin because it's just in my blood. Like I've always done it. I've always just been like, okay, I have to do this and do all the things because I don't want to have sun damage and old looking skin. However, I will admit that I was a girl that did use the tanning beds like every day on my lunch break. So I'm definitely paying for it now. So that's why I'm such a huge advocate on like sunscreen and skin health. It's like, don't do what I did. Listen to me. Like, don't make the same mistakes that I did.
I think we all have been there.
Yes. So I was probably 32 when I started doing like injectables and medical grade skincare and things like that.
And that's, if you look statistically, that is the time frame when most people make the jump. They're finally like looking in the mirror and they're like, oh my gosh, wait, I'm not 18 anymore. what do I have to do so that I look like this for forever? And that's our goal, really. Like our goal isn't, I guess in some cases it is to reverse, but most of the time when people get into aesthetics from the consumer point of view, it is more of slowing down the aging process and maintaining where they're at so that they look the same age for forever. Very like vampire kind of
Absolutely.
mentality.
Yes, I have lots of friends that call me a vampire, but I'm like, just wait until we're in our 60s and you're leather and I'm not. So
Exactly. It'll be so worth it. I love that. So in so it was 2020 you went back to school and then
2020, I
or
think
2021,
2019. And
2019.
then,
Okay.
correct. And then 2020, yes. So again, like I was a single mom. I
Yeah.
just had to, like, I was like, okay, kids, like you might be by yourselves at
Mhm.
night. Like we're going to work through this together. And they were really supportive. They,
Yeah.
I couldn't ask for better kids. They were so great. They
I
like
love that.
encouraged me through the whole thing. When we moved, I actually found like a little note from my son when he was little. He like had a little, um, I used to like leave notes on chalkboards and stuff for the kids, and he wrote a
Yeah.
little note to me, and it was like, I'm praying that I had a good day at school and then I passed my test, and it was just like so sweet.
That is so cute. I
So the
love
struggle
that.
was real, but it's worth it. Like just to show
Yeah.
my kids too, like if you want to do something, that it's anything's possible.
Literally anything is
Yeah,
possible. And it doesn't matter when in life you decide to do it. It is never too
absolutely.
late to chase after your dreams.
Yeah,
For
it's not.
sure, that's such an important thing. Did you, as you were building your business, did you start off in the location that you're at now, or did you start in like a room and then grow?
Yes. So I
Okay.
actually started, I live in a small town outside of San Antonio. So I worked at a med spa here and then
Mhm.
got my license, and some things happened and I just decided to go on my own. And then I remarried at the time. So it was like school, engaged,
Mhm.
new business, wedding, like all these things just like happen at once, right? When it rains, it
Yeah.
pours. Like sometimes God thinks he's funny. He's like, you can do all these things. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. Like, I don't have a choice. Here it is.
Yeah.
So I started out actually, one of my high school girlfriends had just finished cosmetology school.
Mhm.
And she was like, I'm going to rent a booth from this place and there's an extra space. So she was like, you need to go on your own. And I was like, no, 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 no. And she kind of pushed me a little bit. So long story short, I did it and I rented like an 8 by 10 room inside a hair salon for a year. And then I kind of grew out of that. And then I moved to another space that was twice the size. And then a year after that, my husband and I purchased a house and we renovated it and turned it into the spa.
Oh my gosh, that's
And I've been
so
there for like 2 years.
fun.
Yeah.
So really your kids from the get-go were along for the journey through all of that. That
Mhm.
is, I feel like I am in a very similar place right now, recently becoming a single mom by surprise, building my career. I don't want to stay single for forever. So I'm kind of in that like, okay, we got to do that like internal healing. When's it time to move on? But also like, I feel guilty for taking time away from my son to focus on business and business to focus on like being at home, like finding that balance. And then I'm like, how do you then put time into like building a life outside of just raising kids and having a business? So I love that now I can look to you as like, okay, it's possible
It is.
quickly, and look at your beautiful blended family and everything together too. And the
Yeah.
business that you have created is absolutely incredible. You are a rock star on social media and
Oh, thank you.
showcasing how beautiful your space is, how fun your practice is just to like go and visit. Honestly, if I lived nearby, I would definitely be a patron of yours. I would be coming in all the time to see you. I always see your videos of like you going to the park and stuff
Yes.
and
I
educating
love it.
people on wearing their sunscreen and skin health and everything. What do you feel like you got on social media to educate from the get-go, or do you feel like that like slowly evolved as your practice evolved? Like which came first?
So honestly, like when I first started doing it, I had no idea what I was doing. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is what everyone's doing. I just have to figure something out. And then it just kind of slowly evolved. Like every week now we go somewhere and interview someone if they're wearing sunscreen.
Love that.
So that's become like my thing. And it's so funny. Like I can go like to the grocery store or a football game because I'm really involved with the kids or in sports and things. So anywhere I go, everyone's like, I'm wearing sunscreen. I'm wearing sunscreen. And it's really great. I love it because I'll get like little messages here and there because my office is like right across from City Park and it's utilized quite a bit. And I didn't really realize that before we bought the place. So it's
Yeah.
really great. Like I'll have people texting me like, because there's like a trail and you literally
Yeah.
walk like right in front of my office and I'll have people text me like, hey, like I'm wearing my sunscreen, I'm walking at the park. And it's just like I love it because I feel like I'm doing my part for my community and
Yes.
I'm seeing the results because they're actually like paying attention. I love it.
I love that so much. And your education goes past just sunscreen as well. You're educating on what products they should be using at home, what you're doing in the treatment room. Like you really pull the curtain back and show your potential patients what you're doing, but also people that may just be finding you on the internet. Like I think that you are even branching outside of your community, just like us finding each other. I'm all the way in Columbus, Ohio, and you
I
found
know.
me
It's
and
crazy.
you're
I know.
influencing me. I
I know.
love it. So, with that, how did you decide what was going to be inside of your practice, what services that you were going to offer? Has that slowly evolved, or did you really have a vision for where you wanted to go with your business?
So I really did have a vision. There's Fitzy back there. He jumped in the camera. So I really did have a vision. So, like I said, I worked for a dermatologist and she really trained me. She's like one of the top doctors in the nation. So I got a lot of training with her just on different products, different protocols, because I would actually do treatments like cool sculpting, Ulthera, all the things.
Mhm.
So at that point when I left, I wasn't ready to like branch out on my own. But I always thought like, yeah, one day I want to do this. And I never thought I'd be where I am today, if we're being honest. It just kind of happened. So I did start out not having a medical director, which I have a great medical director now. And that also, as you know, allows me to do more treatments and things like that.
Mhm.
So that was also like my goal. I kind of went through some tough times. I had tried to have someone else come on with me and do different things and it just didn't happen. So
Yeah.
I did find my medical director now. So when I started, I just did like I had one brand, just did like basic facials, and then I purchased a hydrofacial, which really helped my business grow. And then it just kind of grew from there. Once I got my medical director, like I knew the things that I wanted to have that I could bring to my community that no one else had. So that's kind of my goal was to set myself apart. And I
Mhm.
think I've done a pretty good job of that. So that was my goal, just to offer my community things that no one else had.
You have done an amazing job at that. How did you really decide on, like, for example, what brands you were going to carry, or why did you decide on hydrofacial specifically? Did you just know innately of like, okay, this matches me. These are things that I use already, or was this a long process where you were trial and erroring and really like digging into the science behind products to curate what lines you were going to have? Like,
Yeah,
how'd that all come about?
it was a really long process, like just
Yeah.
researching and what my brand was going to be and what I wanted to represent my brand. So I actually did a lot of research, but I also had experienced that working in derm. So I kind of knew the products that once I did have a medical director, what I wanted and what I didn't want.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was kind of at an advantage because I've already kind of weeded out the things I liked and didn't like.
Mhm.
So I do definitely look at the science behind things and what's going to benefit my patients. And
Yeah.
I didn't want things that were going to be too aggressive because my medical director isn't with me every day. And I don't want people to have downtime for this amount of time and things like
Mhm.
that. So with my branding, it is basically like simple, but they get results. So
Mhm.
I'm kind of results driven and science backed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I pick and choose the things that I have in my clinic.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that approach 1,000,000%. Gone are the days of your face has to burn off for
Yes.
12 weeks straight and you have to look like a tomato. That
No.
just is not current day. That absolutely, I'm not saying that there was anything wrong with that. Where science was at that time, that absolutely worked. It was wonderful. We were all in it together. We were all burning our faces off in unison.
Yes, we were.
However, science has continued and now you can get those incredible results without even having to blink an eye. I mean, it
Yeah.
really just goes right in. You don't have to think about, in a lot of cases, you don't even have to think about what you are doing outside when you're sweating, what products you're using at what time in that case, because we have amazing SPFs and SPF makeups that we
We
can
do.
use that
Yes.
protect us so that truly any product that we're using, any service that we're having done, our lives just continue on as we do. And so what lines do you currently have in practice for those that don't know you or follow you on social media, although you all need to? The South
Yes.
Texas
Yes.
Esthetician. That's how you can find
So
her.
the lines, so I started out, my very first line was hydropeptide, and they are not talked about as much. I don't know if you've ever worked with them.
I have
I
not.
actually just met with a rep last week. They're kind of rebranding some things, but that's all my back bar. I have hydropeptide and epicutis, and if you don't like, you need to look up hydropeptide because they are so great. I love like their science base. They are kind of doing a rebrand right now, so I'm super
Mhm.
excited about the things that they're going to bring on. I carry Skin Better Science.
Yep.
I'm like Hydrinity, Sente, which I know you and I have talked
Yes.
about that,
Yep.
and of course Color Science.
Yes.
And I think I'm trying to think. I have Galderma products,
Hmm.
Cutera laser, hydrofacial, PCA chemical peels, skin pin microneedling.
Yeah. So you cover the gambit. You
I
go a little bit
do.
everywhere.
I do have a little bit of everything.
I love that for your patients. Because do you call them patients or clients? I know everybody has different names for.
It's like honestly, I don't know. It's like depends
Depends
on
on the moment.
yeah, what's at the moment. Like sometimes say patients. Most of the time I say clients, just
Yeah.
because like I feel like I am like a medical spa,
Yeah.
but as a provider, I'm not like a doctor. So sometimes I feel kind of weird saying patients, but then
Yeah.
client. So most of the time I say clients.
Are
But sometimes I
okay.
say patients.
Because
Does that make sense?
your medical director is not on site.
No.
Okay. See, in our case, we have two physicians, a nurse practitioner, and then Katie is an MA. I've been trained as an MA, and we're both skin experts and estheticians.
Yeah.
So for us, everybody is a patient, but it is because our facility is very medical based. And I think that that is very fluid throughout our industry. I don't think that there's a right and a wrong answer with
I
that,
don't
but everybody calls it something different.
agree. And it's just like esthetician with an E and esthetician with an A.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. What's your flair? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, honestly, like sometimes I use an A and sometimes I don't. So I'm like, what is this right? Is this wrong? I don't know.
Yeah. Wait, okay, so for your Instagram, I actually don't even know. I just read it all together. Is it esthetician with an E or esthetician with an A when
It's with
people
an
are searching for you?
it's with an E.
Okay.
Yes.
So there you
So,
all go. It's the South Texas esthetician with an E.
yes, no A in the front. And then I'm like, is this right? Is this not? Like, I don't know. But I've had it for so long. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's what's on my license. There's no A on the license. So
Yeah.
that's what goes to my brain. I don't know how you guys are in Ohio, but in Texas, it just says licensed esthetician with an E. So
Yeah. That's exactly. We have two different types of license. So we have licensed esthetician with an E, and then we have licensed advanced esthetician. And it's just a matter of how many hours that you get in school,
yeah.
basically. So like in my case, I'm a licensed advanced esthetician, but I I don't even
So
know.
is it
Did I get it
LAE?
right?
Like
It's
uh,
LAE.
okay.
Yes. Yeah. Nothing confuses me more than when I am like reading somebody's credentials and I just see the letters and it's something like in that case where like every state it's not the same.
It's not.
And sometimes you know what they are, but I saw one today and I was like, I don't even know what that certification is. I tried to Google it because I didn't want to ask the person, but I wanted to know. And when you Google it, it pops up as like some like tech
You're like,
certification. And I was
that's
like,
not
that's
what I'm
definitely not right. So
looking
I don't know. I don't know what this person's letters are, but I feel silly
Doesn't
asking,
matter.
so I'm just not going to ask. Maybe it'll come up casually in conversation at some point, but not today.
Well, it's so funny. Like, I don't know, like on mine too, because I'm also a medical assistant and
Yeah.
a licensed laser specialist and a licensed esthetician. So I'm like, do I put all of that? Like, do I put
Heck yeah.
one? Do I just put them all? And then people are like, what do all these things mean? Like you're like, what do all these
Yes.
things mean? Because in every state is different. And I feel like now, like you're in Ohio, I'm in Texas, so it's
Yeah,
different. But now I feel like we have colleagues and friends in so many different states. So it's like, do we put
it
all the
does.
things? Like,
It
does
gets
it
so
matter? Does it
confusing.
not? Like, I don't know.
I'm an advocate for if you're going to put anything down, you should just put all of them down because at
Yeah.
that point, like you're either using them or you're not using them. But if it's a case where like you're putting LE behind your name, you might as well put
Oh,
LEMA. What's the laser? LT.
LT. Yeah.
And
No,
then
license
what I missed there?
LS. Mine, I think mine says licensed laser specialist. So
License.
LS, laser specialist.
LLS. So LEMA. LLS.
LS.
You're just gonna I would say just throw them
Oh,
all on
put them
there.
all.
Why not? Think of it as like if you're like in a LinkedIn situation, you should have everything
All
on
of
there,
them.
right? You might
Yeah.
as well. It's so we are definitely in our practice, we are not ones to like necessarily put titles behind stuff, but you there are definitely professional situations where you need to do that. You have
Right.
to credential yourself. So I say throw everything at
Throw
it,
it all in
right?
there. Yeah.
Like
And
I
speaking
am
of your
so
practice
professional.
too, like you guys
Yeah.
have so much fun too. When I watch your reels, I'm like, I love it. I want to come visit.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. We're right next to the Columbus airport. You should
Really?
honestly just come for
Okay.
like an event. I feel
I
like
have
there's
to.
more and more aesthetic
Yeah.
events that are happening here. You should, but we have way too much fun. I have always said I've never had a job that I have not enjoyed. Like I feel like I have never worked a day in my life necessarily, even though I work very hard and I put my all into everything. Every single job that I've had has been fun, and our office does not change that whatsoever. We genuinely enjoy spending time together,
I love
and I
that.
think that
It
that
shows.
is rare. Like
Yeah.
it
It
is,
is, but
like
it's
you
great.
said.
Like it shows. Like that's what you need
Oh,
because
yes.
then that's why you're so successful because you love what you do and you're
Yeah.
so good at it.
Oh, thank
And
you.
it's such a like I'm so happy for you just to see like we were like little baby Esties a couple years ago, right? And
I
now look at
know.
us. I'm
What
so
I love too about our industry is I feel like we we almost are like magnets to each other when we first come out of school, and you make friends with people that are in very similar stages in their careers as you, and then you get to watch them grow alongside you and vice versa, like they're watching you, and it's just so much fun. I have several friends inside of the industry that either were fresh out of school or in school at the same time as I was, and now seeing where everybody is at, I mean, it is absolutely incredible. One of my friends, she graduated from esthetician school, I want to say 2 or 3 years before me. And she is now the regional director of an entire sales territory for a major skincare line. And just
awesome.
seeing like how our careers have flourished and watching everybody, it's so fun to see what everybody is up to. But you're absolutely right. We were like little baby Esties
We are,
together,
I
became
know.
friends, and that was what was so fun too, finally meeting in person last year because we had connected on social media, but we
Yeah.
hadn't met in person yet, and being able to just pick each other's brains, but also just be a support in the industry. It's so
Yes.
much fun.
I
But
know.
you
And I'm
definitely
excited.
need to come and hang out.
I know for sure. Well, I'm excited that we get to be with each other for a whole another week in September.
Yes, yeah, because you're going to be at Where What Works, right? We're both going to be
Yeah.
at the color science event and
Yeah.
we're speaking on a panel together.
Yes.
Very excited about that. If you've been to, I think that this might air right after, so you guys can see the recap of it. But there are a couple more Where What Works events happening this year. And what they are doing different this year is they did a pro panel last year where they had their No Better Skin pros answer questions from the audience, and kind of it's like a tell all in a way. This year, they've switched it up a little bit, and now we have case studies that we are presenting. So we are bringing our actual studies that we are doing on our patients, whether it be from their at-home skincare regimens or from in office. I'm kind of doing like a blend of both. And I love that they're bringing it to that point because color science really backs the science behind everything. They do nothing halfway. If they are releasing a product, you can bet your bottom dollar that they have tested it until the cows come home. They have then sent it on to the pros and their different partners to do testing outside of that. So they have it rigorously tested before we even get our hands on it. Then we have signed our nice little NDAs and everything, and we test stuff out and can't talk about it. And then we give them their feedback or our feedback. They make little critiques of things. We help with the launch and everything, and then they bring it to the market. And I love that there's so much thought behind not only bringing a high quality product to the market, but also how the intentionality behind how it rolls out and the information and the education that comes out behind it. They want to make sure that everybody has the most education so that their products are used to their highest capability. And I think that that's something that we both are very passionate about with the brands that we work with, is having brands that really lean into that high quality and then carrying that education on to our patients slash clients, depending on the moment and what we're calling them. But we like to bring that education back. How do you approach that conversation with your patients slash clients on why they should use the products that you're suggesting and why they should spend more than maybe $15 on that cleanser, why they should spend $37 on a cleanser?
Right. So I actually just had a new client this week, and she was like, she said, actually, this is so funny to me. Like, she was like, I asked ChatGPT, like, what I should ask you. Like, that's where people are going though now. It's like they're going to ask AI before they come and talk to us, which blows my mind, but it's
so real.
Like, this is our world now. So I was like, okay, well, and honestly, like, ChatGPT is very good. I do use it sometimes. I'm not going to lie. However, it's not a person, and it does make mistakes too, just like people do. But she had like all this list of things that she should use, like vitamin C, retinoids, sunscreen, all the things. I'm like, those are great. And she's like, so I have my Amazon cart like already. And I was like, no.
Pause.
And I was like, well, and so I kind of explained to her, like, yes, you can purchase some things on Amazon. I love me some Amazon, not going to lie. However, not for skincare products. And if you can get a product on Amazon, then it's probably not the best thing for you. Because I had to explain to her, like, where is it coming from? Like, you don't know how long it's sitting in a warehouse. And are those
what temperature?
Temperatures regulated? It could be 125 degrees wherever it is. And then you're getting it and the efficacy is just not there. And you don't know if it's expired or how long they've had it, And she was just like, her mind was blown. And she was like, I never even thought about that. So that's kind of where I educate, because everyone does it. Let's be honest. Like, if you are suggesting a retinol that is $125, they're going to look on Amazon for something with one of the same ingredients for half the price, right? Yeah. So that's where I kind of try to educate my clients, and like, this is the science behind it. I have brochures on anything I recommend because I know they're going to want to do their research.
Yes.
Most of my clients do, and they're going to research. So I'm like, these are the things, this is why, like, these are the studies, this is the science behind it. This is the reason why I'm suggesting this over something on Amazon. And most of the time, like, I blow their mind. And sometimes, you still have those people that are still going to go to Amazon no matter what you say or do, which is fine. So I don't mind like giving samples. Most of my clients leave with a sample because I know, like, I'd rather lose $5 giving them $5 knowing that once they're going to use it, they're going to love it and they're going to come back and purchase the bigger product. So that's kind of how I go about, like, talking to them about, the science behind it and things not to buy on Amazon. And most of the time they're just like, Oh, I didn't even think about that. I'm like, I know, because we're like, okay, add to cart, buy on Amazon. It's gonna be fine.
Yes, we have been so conditioned to use Amazon. Okay, you said so much there. I want to go back to ChatGPT here because the problem with going to ChatGPT versus a licensed esthetician or skin expert of some sort, or going to a dermatologist even, is ChatGPT is trained by what we put into it as either providers or as the consumer. So if a consumer gets on and says, I love hyaluronic acid because this is what hyaluronic acid does. So what product should I use with this hyaluronic acid? ChatGPT is going to take what that consumer put in there as this is fact and then twist it and put it out as that is fact. So the things that are in ChatGPT, although normally can be pretty reliable, you do have to dig a little bit deeper into it and make sure that that is actually correct information. The other thing with that is you have to think about your skin is not the same as the person that put that information in there or the base model that ChatGPT is talking about.
It's not
So
you. Yeah.
it right like it if you have, I'm going to use myself as an example. If you have a rosacea and ChatGPT is saying, "Oh my gosh, you should use vitamin C because vitamin C is so great at being an antioxidant and protecting you from free radicals. It's great for brightening your skin. It's great for XYZ." Yes, it is great for all of those things. But is the
Or
vitamin C that
normal
you're
skin.
using,
Yeah.
yes, and is the vitamin C that you're using irritating to your skin at the epidermal layer, meaning that outer layer? Once it is absorbed, is it irritating internally? Because there are vitamin C's that aren't irritating at the surface level, and you have no idea it's causing more inflammation the further down. It's very important to go to somebody that is educated on the delivery systems of the product, what it's actually doing for your skin, how it combines with the other products that you're using. Because that's the other thing. You can get a list of products that would be great. And if you're using them all together, they could be jacking each other up.
So true.
So you have to be really careful about what you're trusting from ChatGPT. And
So true. And I think that makes it harder for us too. Like as
yes.
licensed professionals, like, right? It's like the struggle is real for us now because there's
Yeah.
ChatGPT. First it was like the
TikTok.
influencers on TikTok, and now
Mhm.
it's that and ChatGPT and like all these
Yes.
other things. And
Yeah.
however, like some of the things, yes, like you said, are true for my
Mhm.
best friend, but that doesn't mean just
It's the right
like
thing for you.
you have very sensitive skin. I
Mhm.
don't. So your regimen is completely different than mine. And if you are not getting that education from a licensed professional, then it's just like disrupts
Mhm.
your barrier and all the things. And then they think they're allergic to things or no, you're just using it wrong.
Yeah.
So, which
Yeah.
I love that
Absolutely.
because I love educating people, but it does sometimes make our lives a lot harder.
It does. It makes things so much harder. And I would say, even beyond that, if you look at somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, they're so youthful. Like, if I looked at your routine and I was like, okay, I thought that Sarah was 15 years younger than she is. I'm going to use the exact products that she is using. Well, they might not do the exact same thing for your
Right.
skin. So you might not even like you're spending all of this money and it's not doing the same thing for where you're at with your journey. And the products that you're using might be appropriate for me a year from now, but I need to start today with where my skin is at. And then it's a journey and it's ever evolving. And the products that you're using are not going to remain the same. If your regimen has remained the same for the last 10 years straight, I guarantee you we should be mixing something up. And I say that cautiously because I think too, as estheticians, we love trying new products. We love just throwing things into the pile and seeing what it'll do. And you have to be careful with that, but you do also need to change things up. So there's definitely a balance, and knowing what is going on beneath the surface is very important. Okay. Then you mentioned Amazon and the stability of everything. I think the other thing that people do not consider, and I love to relate everything to real life experiences. And I just went through this when I was looking for formula for Easton. I was looking at all these different things, and there were a bunch of different formula makers that were saying, like, our factories are temperature controlled and all of this. That is wonderful. What happens once it leaves? Is the truck temperature controlled?
Right.
Is the storage facility, is the store. Like there's all of these components. And I like to educate my patients on that too, especially if they are ordering from, say, Amazon and they say, I'm going to use Alastin as an example. Alastin, I'm throwing you under the bus right now. Alastin is on Amazon and it is directly from Alastin. I mean, Color Science is too. I would say a lot of these different companies
Yes.
are, and it's very frustrating from our point of view. But at the same time, they do have to be on there so they can regulate what products are being sold.
Yes.
It's frustrating when they are undercutting us as providers and they are either putting it at the exact same price where it is more accessible for people on Amazon to order directly from them, and it's not going back to their provider locator or, you know, pushing any sort of business back into the facility, because we are doing a lot of different things for educating patients. Obviously, we're spending a lot of our time and resources putting on our social media, educating people on why to buy it. So if they're going and they're buying it from there, what's worse is when they throw sales onto Amazon and you're like, okay, you can't win. You cannot win if it is less than what you're saying our bottom dollar is that we can sell it for. And it's your name on there. However, the other issue with that, and I ran into this with one of my patients, you order from Amazon, and yes, it's coming directly from the retailer. It's coming directly from Alastin. It's coming directly from Color Science. The Amazon trucks are not always temperature controlled. How many of you out there listening to this right now have seen a car pull into your driveway to deliver an Amazon package and you think somebody is coming to break into your house and it is freaking Amazon?
It was Amazon. However, also, like,
You
I'm in
know?
South Texas. It
Yes.
is hot. Like, it's 100 degrees outside. In those trucks, I think people have to think about that too. Where is it being delivered? Like,
Yes.
if you are delivering something to South Texas in August, you better bet if you don't have some sort of cooling pad or something in there, like in a little ice pack, something, dry ice, like it's hot. It is so hot. Like probably, I don't even know. I should probably get a little scanner, like and see how
what
hot
it is.
It's so hot in those
On
trucks.
reverse, when you think about how cool, I was just doing a clinical study for a product line for a in-office treatment, and with that came the conversation of temperature. So we had to talk about the stability of this specific product, and it is the happiest between 47 degrees Fahrenheit and 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so in the middle of winter in Alaska, or even in Ohio,
you guys get kind of cold sometimes.
We get sub-zero temperatures. Like, you have to think about what is the stability of that product. What happens when it comes off of the truck or out of the car or out of the trunk of something, of a vehicle, and it's put on your porch and you're gone. So it's sitting there for 12 hours outside. You have to think of all these things. And that is definitely, I mean, even if we shipped, we have to think about those things as well, right? But when you think about the longevity of how long is it in those temperatures, you really do have to consider the efficacy of it. The other thing that recently happened, and I felt so smart when I figured this out, not gonna lie, I'm gonna toot my own horn here. One of our product reps gave us a sample for something, and it was a vitamin C. And our nurse practitioner, Alicia, put it on her face and it immediately started burning. And our other skin expert, Katie, she had used a similar one, but it wasn't from this woman's car. Well, guess what? The vitamin C had been sitting in her car for a week in the middle of summer, and it wasn't the same. It was basically rancid vitamin C, and it really stung Alicia's face. So I went and I got her a brand new one that we had gotten as like a part of an order, and it was like the same size and everything. And I said, okay, go home, try this for a couple of days, see if this burns tonight. If this burns tonight, we know it's the actual product. It's not that it was, just rancid sitting in the back of the car. But I believe this vitamin C basically just baked in her trunk for a week straight, and then you put it on your face. By golly, that's exactly what it is. And she's obsessed with that product now that she used the right one. So all of that to be said, you have to be very careful about where it comes from. when you are ordering something, because think of your skincare regimen as almost like a prescription in a way. When you are putting all of these different formulations together, they are very powerful topical products that you are using that can really change your skin for the better. But with that, you have to think they can also really hurt your skin. All that being said, you order online this random assortment of products, and then you go back to the person that you got a facial with or you got your Botox from, and you say, I saw you talking about this product and my face is so messed up. What should I be doing with this? And they didn't sell it to you. Or you say, I'm having this adverse reaction to it. I think that my product is bad. Can you swap it for me? But you didn't buy it from them. Your provider cannot guarantee that you got a product that was efficacious, that it was directly from. If you're ordering that Elastin product off of Amazon and you think that it is directly from Elastin, the seller, but it's actually a reseller that's on there and it's a fake product, or oh my gosh, Zeo Skin Health, for the longest time, Zeo Skin Health was on Amazon and they were lookalike. And if you ordered, we actually did it a couple of times because we had a patient come in with a product. And when we went to dispense it, it was a completely different product inside. And when we put like the bottles side by side, we finally realized that it was a dupe bottle. It was literally a faux bottle of Zeo Skin Health that was on Amazon. Guys, you have to be careful about where you're getting your skincare from. And you can't necessarily, we are always here to help you if you're having this issue, but you also cannot hold your provider responsible if they are recommending a product and you're buying it from somewhere that they can't guarantee it was temperature stable. They can't guarantee that it wasn't tampered with inside or whatever may be the situation. It is just so much safer to go to a licensed retailer, to go to your provider that has recommended it to you. If they recommended it to you, it's probably for good reason. Make sure that you're getting quality product. If you're spending your hard-earned money on it, you want to make sure that it works. Absolutely. So that is my 2 cents on that. And then after that, I have so many things. You started my brain going with this. So you also were mentioning the difference in ingredients and how you might recommend one product and somebody says, okay, well, this is everything that is inside of there. So I'm going to find a product that's cheaper with all of those different ingredients inside of it. I'm going to use hypochlorous acid as an example here because I made this mistake. It was me. I did this. I tested it out myself. And I'm ashamed to say I tested this out on my son as well. I was using Hyacin Active from Hydrinity. And I said, this is so expensive. Why am I spraying this on my son's bum to help with diaper rash? Because I didn't want to use a diaper cream, but I also knew that hypochlorous acid and something like Hyacin could really do something. So I set out to find a cheaper option. And I tried Active. I think it's literally called Active. And it's a spray hypochlorous acid that you can get on Amazon. You can get it from CVS. You can get it anywhere.
Is it an orange bottle?
It's a white bottle and it has almost like pastel rainbow writing on it. Truthfully, I heard it on the Skinny Confidential. She advertises for them. And like, it's like one of her sponsors of one of her episodes. And, I feel like hypochlorous acid in general, it's a great tool that has been used in medicine for so long. It's great to have in your first aid kit. However, when you're comparing apples to oranges here, it doesn't add up. But if you look at Active compared to Hyacin Active, which is very confusing that they both have Active in their name. But if you look at Hyacin and then you look at this Active spray, they look identical. The difference is the containers that they are in and how they are produced. There is a huge difference in the stability of those two products. It is so much better. It is worth it to spend double the amount on the Hyacin versus the Active spray, especially if you're going to be using it on your 3-month-old. Like, that is such a sensitive area, but you can use Hyacin, you can use hypochlorous acid on cuts, on eczema, on diaper rash, I use it for my rosacea. It has been such a game changer for my rosacea.
I used it on my husband's feet. We go to the lake a lot. I know this is but speaking of Hyacin Active, and I use that and the Restore serum.
Yeah.
feet because he got cut from zebra mussels.
Yeah.
2 days, his feet were like completely back to normal.
So good. So good.
Good.
It's worth it to spend the money. But that is one thing that I, as somebody who knows better, and then I was kicking
We've
myself
all done
because,
it. We've all done it.
guys, this was a month and a half ago. Like, this was not a long time ago. And I'm like, why did I make this mistake? I know better than this. But all that to be said, we are human too. We are not here to stand on our pedestals of we've never made this mistake. I made this mistake last month, and I am here to tell you guys it is not worth it. And that is also like we spend a lot of time researching and making sure that we are bringing high quality things to the table. And I did a lot of time in research into making that mistake.
It's okay. You're a first time mom. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Hey, it's worth it. But that also is such a hot tip. So Easton has baby eczema. He had baby acne, which is what really led me to start down this path to begin with. And that has since passed. Baby acne too can come from so many different directions. His specifically came from the medications. I had a very high risk delivery. I was not high risk until I was in the hospital, but I did have to use different medical interventions that I was not planning to. And so a lot of those, like those chemicals obviously can transfer in the umbilical cord. They say that they don't, but let's be real. We all know that they do. And then just from the trauma of birth in general, like my hormones, that is something that whether you have an at-home birth or you have a hospital birth, the hormones from the mother are going to go into the child as everything balances out. And so my excess of estrogen and everything else, it was just Easton's face was purging from it. So he was dealing with the baby eczema. He had baby acne at one point. He started scraping his face with his little fingernails that are so sharp because that's so real too. And I really didn't want to use diaper cream. He didn't really have diaper rash in general, but I wanted to make sure that he was good to go. So I use Hyacin Active in place of the diaper cream, but I actually spray because he struggles with baby eczema so badly. I spray him with that every single morning. It's part of his routine. He doesn't even think anything past it. Hyacin Active is safe for breathing it in, for getting in eyes. Like it is so safe. So I know that like as he's like basking in it and has his eyes open, it's like, Mom, this is so fun. It's totally fine for him to get it in his eyes. But that is my hot tip. I keep it in my diaper bag. Yesterday, I was at a restaurant and I had to change him in the bathroom, and I really try not to do that. I normally take him out to the car to change him because I am a germaphobe, guys. Shocking. I'm sure now that we are so far into this, you all know this. But we came out of the bathroom and I was able to use Hyacin Active all over him. There were 2 little girls that came in and they were so excited to see him. They have a little brother at home who's a month old, and they thought that they could walk up and touch his head and his hands just like they touch his little brother or their little brother and like talk to him. And I didn't want to say no. And I was like, you know what though? I have Hyacin Active. So the second that they turn around, I'm dousing him in this, and it's going to kill 99.9% of anything that they have on them right now. Like it is totally fine. So that is exactly what I did. I sprayed off the changing table. I sprayed him with it. I sprayed my hands with it. It is the best thing. He drops a toy, I'm able to use that.
I love it.
Like it's totally safe for him. Like if he's sticking things immediately back in his mouth, it's good to go. So that is a hot tip. Use your Hyacin Active for literally everything.
Everything and anything, from babies to adults.
It is so
and it's safe for pets too. So
somebody told me that. Somebody told me that they used it on their pets. I love it. Have you used it on your cats?
Yes.
What have you used it for?
Well, because my little baby, he gets like goopies, and it's because the Persians have like the flat nose, and then his eyes tear up, and he's white. Yeah. So I have used it on him a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it becomes sore too, like when you get like really goopy.
Yes.
That makes sense. So I think the moral of this entire episode has been buy Hyacin Active.
Yes.
And Hydrinity, if you don't sponsor my podcast after this, I don't know what you're doing.
You better be now.
I love it. Okay. So coming back full circle to that though, educating on where products are coming from, why your patients slash clients should be using the products. All very, very, very important. When you're picking your lines that you're carrying, do you really lean into those lines that are transparent with their clinical studies? Or as long as you know that they've done their studies, like, are you somebody that likes to like really dig into it? Or like what kind of value do you put into the transparency behind the brands? I guess
So
is
I
the question.
really do like, if they don't have studies to back the technology or the products, like it
Mhm.
makes me kind of leery, just because like, why have you not studied it? Why don't you have this?
Yeah.
However, I also take into consideration like new products, new lines, maybe they don't have the funding, things like that. However, I haven't really come across that very
Yeah.
much. And I also like to keep things simple. So all of my brands that I carry already have that science backing and
Mhm.
all the studies to prove the efficacy of all their products. So I really haven't had trouble with that. I'm not looking into anything. However, sorry, I had a little cat hair flying by the baby.
Story of our
Um,
lives.
so
It's
I
when a little
haven't
angel
really
walked
like,
by.
and he's back there. So I really haven't had trouble, but yes, I do look like, if, of course, as you know, like we get emails and DMs all the time about
Mhm.
products and this and that. And most of the time, like sometimes if I haven't heard about it, I'll like do a little search or click on
Thinking.
their link, and I don't know. It just depends. Yeah, if they don't have any studies or anything like that, for me, I just logistically, like, I like to be safe and
Yeah.
use products that I know are worth it and are science backed and are going to give those results.
Mhm.
I don't want, I don't want to chance that.
Yeah. I would say my challenge to other industry partners out there that are listening to this is ask to see the white papers, ask to see the studies. One, it helps you because it educates you on what's actually happening. It helps you because it gives you marketing assets that you can then
Yes, it
use. Like
does.
if they have
That's a bonus. Yeah.
amazing, yes, like if they have amazing skin graphs where they can really show like what is going on down to the cellular level and a visual for it for then you to be able to pass on to your patients, that's huge. So ask for it in that sense because a lot of companies have that as a marketing material that you can use. Some of them you can't publish it, but they can at least educate you on it. And that's huge as well. But I would challenge everyone out there from the industry and from the consumer point of view to ask those questions and to really lean into the companies that are putting in the money towards the clinical studies versus just marketing efforts to make a quick buck with a
100%.
product.
Yes.
That is so common when I get asked all the time, why should I get a product from you versus going to Sephora or Ulta? I don't understand why like I can't use X, Y, and Z from Sephora. And my answer is always that there are absolutely amazing ethical companies that sell their products somewhere like Sephora. But the overarching consensus is that a lot of their products are in beautiful packaging, marketed very, very well. They're very kind of kitschy fun, very trendy, but they don't have the same study backing. So if you were going to spend the money, you might as well, instead of spending $450 on a moisturizer, spend $150 on a moisturizer that's going to do a dang thing for you.
Absolutely.
And you can put two and two together of what product I'm talking about, friends. Okay, there you go. Okay, I feel like honestly, I could talk to you
I
for
know.
ages.
I know.
Like I could
We're
just
gonna have
keep
a
on
whole
going.
week together.
Oh my gosh, I know. And we are definitely going to have to do another episode together at
Yes.
some point in time too, because this was just way too much fun. But for this episode, I feel like we should wrap it up a little bit. I like to ask all of my guests when they join me on the bright side, what is beautiful to you?
Okay, so I love this question. So, what is beautiful to me? It is, it's not always about what you see, right?
Mhm.
Like, and I don't want to be a cliche, like beauty is within, but it really is to me. Like, it's also about like what you feel, what you're feeling, how you're noticed, and just, what resonates with your soul.
Absolutely. When you have that spark within, it
Yes.
shines out and
And really all
people are
about like
drawn to that.
how you make people feel and
Yes. Yeah. The beauty that shines from within is so real. I mean, I guess people could say that that's cliche, but it's not. It's so
it's true.
true. I heard on a podcast this morning because I am a podcast junkie. I heard on a podcast this morning that your heart rate, your just energy that literally comes from the organ of your heart can radiate 3 to 6 feet out from you. So when you think about these different frequencies and energies around you and wanting to be in calm, peaceful environments, when we say that somebody is peaceful, and Sarah, I feel like you are this. And I was telling producer Steve this before you got on, but you just, from the moment I met you, you're a very calming, reassuring person by nature. You don't even have to talk necessarily, just your presence is very calming and
Oh, thank you.
reassuring. And that comes from within. That comes from your body's actual frequency. And you could say that that is super woo woo, but that really is the beauty that shines within you. And staying so centered and grounded really does do more for the people around you than even it does for you sometimes. It, of course, helps you, but it radiates past that. So, definitely, again, another challenge for the listeners out there.
Oh, thank
Definitely
you.
like ground yourself, be like Sarah, be grounding, be just that reassuring beauty from within. I love that so much. Sarah, it was so wonderful to
This
have
was
you on the
so
bright
fun.
side today. This was so
Yes.
fun. Tell everybody how they can find you. So I know I dropped your handle like 5 million times throughout the
Yeah.
episode, but
No,
give it
it's
to us
amazing.
again and
So
every other way that we can reach you.
I want to say thank you so much for having me. This is my first ever podcast.
Yes.
So you popped my podcast cherry. So it's always a pleasure. You are always just like a light just beams with happiness whenever I see you. So it's always a pleasure to be around you. I'm so excited that we get to see each other for a whole week again. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. So my Instagram handle is South Texas Esthetician. That's where everyone can find me there. Um, yeah, and
Perfect. And your business?
my business is Belle Ame Aesthetics in Lavernia, Texas. So if you just search on Instagram, South Texas Esthetician, it
It
should
all
all
links
come up
there.
there. Yep.
And your work phone number, booking link, like all of that is in your Instagram, right?
Everything is on there. Yep. I have a
Love
little
that.
link to my link tree and Facebook, Instagram, TikTok,
Love that.
everything is on there.
I love it. Well, friends, I will also put her handle in the show notes too. So you can click over to her Instagram real fast from the show notes too. Sarah, it was wonderful to have you on. I can't wait to see you. We're going to
I
have to chat
know.
after this and coordinate our outfits for the Nexties this year.
Yes, we need
Are
to.
you going? You're going to go to the Nexties?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good. Okay. We'll coordinate.
Hopefully
I
we
love it
know
so
some
much.
people that are going to be nominated for something.
Fingers crossed. I hope so. All right, friend. I will talk to you
Okay.
soon. And to
Bye,
everybody
Delaney.
else,
Thank you
you
so
know how to
much.
reach us.
Yes.
Everything is down in the show notes. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.